Kerri Pomarolli, a stand-up comedian and actress, was born in Dearborn, Michigan and raised an artist. Her mother, enrolling her in dance classes in a theater company at a young age, was only the start of her career as an entertainer. What began as a hobby eventually turned into a lifelong career. After graduating from University of Michigan, Kerri made the move to Los Angeles, where she would pursue her career in acting. Since that day, Kerri has remained there and to this day continues to live out her dream. Here is her story.
I knew from a very young age that I wanted to perform. It was always the goal. And after I spent a lot of time traveling, I had parents that were very supportive. So they allowed me to go to New York and do shows, and even Italy and do shows. And as soon as I could, I loaded up my parents' minivan and drove to Los Angeles, worked 3 jobs, and decided I was going to be a professional actor. But I really feel like there's something inside all of us that knew from birth that we needed to perform in some way. And some of us become lawyers and some of us become, radio, or it's all different. But there is that gene, I really believe. And when young people, we can talk about this later, but when young people come to me and they're like, I want to be an actor, especially actors, I say to them, I'm going to give you an opportunity to work at a desk job for $150,000 a year. Would you take it? If the answer to that is yes, I say don't be an actor, because all the rest of the people will cut you to be an actor. It's not about the money for them. There's a gene that they've had since they were little kids that were like, I must perform. So I look at that time when I first came to LA. Yes, I was working 3 jobs. I was not miserable at all. I loved it. It was crazy. I never knew what was coming next, but it was the excitement of what was coming next. This is not for the faint-hearted, this life, in any way, shape, or form. I had a roommate who moved out, as I was just mentioning, and we did a lot of things together. And she decided that she wanted to move, and she ended up living in Texas, and she's a very successful salesperson, and she's married, and I don't think she misses it. It's a really cutthroat existence, and there's a lot of rejection. You're not getting a paycheck every Friday. Nobody's getting a paycheck. Even movie stars aren't getting a paycheck every Friday. I have friends that are multi-millionaires, and then their show ends and they're like, oh my gosh, I still have 3 assistants to pay. Auditions are crazy. I've been asked to for a film, and this was like I think a legit film. Being like, so if you want to just take your clothes off, I was like, you know what? Let me go to my car. I'll be right back. So there's a difference between an artist who actually is dying to perform and a person who wants to be the next Kardashians. And apparently in LA, there's room for everybody, but you have to look at the longevity of the people that want to be the next big reality star and realize that that's a really short time span. I mean, there's people. I don't ever feel like there was competition with our friends. And still to this day, I have friends that are writers and directors and producers, and we've been doing this for, maybe 10, 15 years together. And I'm always like, oh, I want to use him to direct this next project. Or I hope this happens for my friends, because we will remember to use each other in our projects. So it's definitely not a competition. I think the internet has drastically changed everything that we do. It's so much more instant. You don't have to go and staple a headshot and go put it in an envelope and deliver it to a casting director. I think it's more saturated now. I think there's a lot more people. For most working actors, I'm not talking about the super famous celebrities. For most people that have been in this business and made a career from it, there's not like a big break. It's a tenacity of sticking around. But it's really hard to stick around when you don't know what's going to happen next. I know A-list actors that will do a movie and go, I'm never going to work again. It's just this rejection mentality that you have to overcome. So my best advice for that is be healthy outside of your acting. Be healthy outside of your craft. Be content with your life. Don't make this your life, because it'll eat you up. There's always going to be somebody coming up behind you, or younger and prettier and whatever. But the thing is, if you're really doing this for the art and you really have a centered life, you're going to find a way to make a living. And really, that's what it's come to for me. I just want to be happy with my kids and make a living doing what I love to do.